Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And before I begin this review of a terrible movie, you may notice I now have the Batman shelf right chill behind me. A little more set decorating, I guess. Um, in all fairness, I could take this here VHS copy of the Star Trek 5 and put that right there. It's sort of a set dressing. Maybe I'll use that in the future to put out the movie and I'm reviewing. Set it there, just subtly in the background. But I need that for review. Yes, I have Star Trek 5 on VHS. You remember that back in 1989 they had commercials, in 1990 whatever commercials. Come and get a Red Star Trek 5. Red Star Trek 5. Right here. Star Trek 5. I have it right here. Bunch of other stuff. I have some other ones. I have the motion picture, which as you can see says special longer version. They have a longer version? Why? I have Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country, which I cannot comment on because I have not reviewed it yet. Along with Star Trek Generations, again, no comment, haven't reviewed it, and Star Trek Insurrection. There's also, I have one that has an episode of the series, but I couldn't find that in time. So, back over here for now. Alright. So, Star Trek 5. The Final Frontier. Where do I start? Where the hell do I start? Where do I start? Where do I start? Well, this movie was written and directed by William Shatner. And I'll say, his directing style is not bad. He didn't have that much to work with money-wise because they gave him about the same budget as the last one, but that one took mostly on Earth and didn't need a lot of money. This one, they had a different special effects. ILM was gone. ILM was gone. They got back Jerry Goldsmith, I forgot, to do the score, and as such, we get the dun, 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 song back, which is weird because by this point, Star Trek Next Generation was out, so people were confused. That's back, and the score is not bad. It's Jerry Goldsmith. It's not that bad. It's had something good, and I'll say that the villain is also not so bad. Well, he's a bad guy, and that is Cybok, played by, I gotta look at the back of the book, the box. Does it say? Lawrence Luckinbill. Lawrence Luckinbill plays Cybok, who's a villain, and he's not a bad villain. But, okay, so the story is that the crew of the Enterprise has been called on a mission to stop Cybok because he wants to take the Enterprise so that he can locate God. And the reason this is because Shatner came up with the idea for this movie while watching a televangelist on TV and wanted to do it sort of like fake televangelists who believe one thing but might not even be true. I'm not saying that it's full out not true. Don't go after me, Christians, and say that it might not be true. You don't know, right? You don't know. It's the unknown, right? But this movie, with other stuff, apart from that, there was a bit of goofiness in the last one, but this one, Shatner decides to get real goofy with this script. But our movie starts with 3 representatives going to this planet, this desolate planet, for a and meeting a summit, whatever. A representative of the human Romulan, of which they had no budget for makeup, so she doesn't even look like a Romulan, and a Klingon. Alright, and Klingons are supposed to be a warrior race. This guy is fatter than I am, so I don't know how much of a warrior he would be, but, you know, who knows. And while there, they are captured by Cybok, who mind controls them. He later does that to members of the Enterprise. But meanwhile, our intrepid heroes, Spock, Kirk, and Bones, are camping in Yosemite National Park on Earth. And we meet Captain Kirk climbing the rocks like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 2, or Sana Lathan in Alien vs. Predator. And he falls, but is saved by Spock. And he makes a comment here that makes me think of something. So he makes a comment whether at the campfire. He's like, I didn't believe I was going to die because I believe I'm going to die alone. And strangely enough, DeForest Kelly and Nimoy have both passed away. So eerily, that might be true. But it also points into something later. In the original script, he wanted Spock and, like I said, the members of the Enterprise get taken over, mind controlled by Cybok. He wanted Spock and Bones to be taken over by that, so that Kirk was on his own. Now, most of you might see that as, Shatner's ego getting the best of him, which very well could be, but also I think it goes back to that line. Like, if they're not there, he's all alone, he's on his own, and he might die without them. It presents more peril for Kirk. But both DeForest Kelly and Leonard Nimoy said, no, our bond is too strong, that wouldn't happen. Well, Bones, maybe. But there's an interesting point they could have done here, is that Spock, they could have deadlined it, that while Spock has gotten most of his memory back, he's still not 100%, so he could be going in and out, back, but that's too much character-driven drama. Nope. And so at one point, so they decide, so here's what happens. They're sitting around a campfire, eating beans, singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. No, I'm not making that up. By the way, I forgot to mention, in the scene with the summit, there is a lady, a cat lady with 3 tits. And later, Shatner does roll around and fight with her. Shatner wrote the movie, you say? I believe it. I want to wrestle around with a cat lady with 3 boobies. 3 boobies? Are you sure? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Bill, what? Yes. I'm just saying, you know what you were writing, Shatner. Just saying. But anyway, yeah. So, they make their way back to the Enterprise, which, even though it was a brand new Enterprise ship at the end of the last one, now all of a sudden it's a rust bucket and the transporters don't work. Again, I equate that to the budget of this movie because there's not much beaming in this. I'm just saying. But Starfleet is contacted by Cybok, who tells them that he's holding the people hostage and he won't let them go unless they send a ship, which has to be the Enterprise. And they said there has to be another ship out there. There is, but you are the only captain good enough for the job. Written by Shatner, you say? So he's kissing his own ass, isn't he? But that raises the question. Does it have to be the Enterprise? And you can just say, well, it's Star Trek, so yes. But also, maybe they didn't have enough money to build another set. So they just had the Enterprise. But still, Couldn't they have used another ship? Nope. And Chekhov at one point is in charge of the Enterprise, and he says he is the captain because the others, that being Kirk, Spock, and Bones, go down to the planet and distract Cybok and his men to get their horses by having the 59-year-old Uhura dance half naked. Directed by Shatner, you say? Or written by Shatner, you say? I want Uhura to dance half naked. That's a woman. But, Bill, she's almost 60. So what? She's a beautiful woman. She's almost 60 years old. Older now. Just, I don't know. Why? Why? Oh, why? 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 He's saying why. But, there is something going on, because when they see the transmission at first see the transmission, I should say, Spock looks as if he's seen a ghost. Kirk then gives orders for Spock to kill him, and he refuses, and then it's revealed that Cybok is Spock's half-brother. Something which Gene Roddenberry was very pissed off about, because he built the lore of Star Trek very well, and did not think that Spock's father would have been with anyone before Amanda. That's Spock's mother. And seeing as was like the forbidden love story between those two, he wouldn't have been after either. And we're seeing that Cybok is older, supposedly, so no, it doesn't make any sense. But if Shatner wanted like a long lost relative character, why couldn't it be Kirk's brother? I mean, he had a brother, he lost his brother, whatever, but it could be someone else's brother. I don't know. By the way, Scotty gets knocked off, and I'm offended. Or knocked out, excuse me. He doesn't die. Not knocked off. Knocked out. And if it was a regular knockout, like someone had nicked him back in the head, it'd be fine. But he argues with, I don't know, Kirk or someone. He's like, I know this ship like the back of my hand, and then runs right into the thing, and I went, that's my fridge, by the way. But what is this movie? So it appears that Cybok wanted the ship because he needed the ship to be able to go through a barrier field, which they just go through. I don't know what the big deal was. So they can find God on the center of the earth, the center of the universe, which, according to NASA, is just a black hole. But science fiction, right? They also make some disparaging remarks about Columbus thinking the world was flat, and in everything I've seen, he was the only one who thought it wasn't flat, as far as I could see. Except for Fantastic Voyage. That movie was Magic Voyage, whatever the animated one was. I don't know, but as far as I remember, most stuff I've seen, everyone else was saying it was flat, and he didn't. But he wasn't, I'm not going to go into Columbus, but he wasn't the best dude. I'm just saying. But, and then they find this godlike person on this planet. Turns out it's not God. It's just some alien creature. And in the original script, Shatner wanted it to be the devil that not only killed Cybok, but dragged Spock and Bones to hell. And Kirk was supposed to defeat it by himself. Written by Shatner, you say? Luckily, many people, including Roddenberry himself, and DeForest Kelly, and Leonard Nimoy said no to it. And by the way, this movie was being written, and then there was a writer's strike in 1989, and then they did a little more fixing to it, and then just said, fuck it, and filmed it. So that explains a lot. But, Scotty's finally able to get the beaming technology working, the transporter working, but only transport 2 at a time, taking plot points from the last one. And so he says, send up Spock and Bones. So they get beamed up, and he's left by himself to fight off this alien creature thing that does kill Cybok. And I would do another written by Shatner, you say, joke, but he doesn't defeat it by himself. He runs out and there's a Klingon ship, and it turns out Spock was able to talk to the Klingon ship, the Klingon representative, and get them to side with them. By the way, it's the bird of prey, and I thought that thing landed in the ocean in the last one, because they had it. The Federation had, the Starfleet had it. Yet they give it back, I guess. But, and so yeah, Kirk and Spock are reunited yet again, and the movie ends with more sitting around a campfire singing "Roll, roll, roll your boat," because we needed that. Now, I didn't hate this as much as other Star Trek fans because I'm not a hardcore Star Trek fan. But it's not a good movie. And if there is one thing I would say, when it comes to, that's going to be a thing about it being way over there, is I have to, when it comes to Star Trek V, the Final Frontier, it's just not worth your time. It's just not worth your time. The actors all do a decent job. Shatner's never been the best actor, but he's okay. I just feel like, I don't know, it could have been better. And there's nothing against Shatner's directing. I think we need better writers. I don't think Shatner's can you imagine if Shatner's original script got greenlit and just went production that way? Plus the writer's strike, and then who knows? But as is, it's not worth your time. So what are your thoughts on Star Trek V? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.